Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend and you're getting ready for spring here tomorrow. So 5Q tape breakdown last week was be specific. Don't use words like they, it, that stuff. Instead, use actual words because when you use vague words, it's easy for people to lose track of who and what you're talking about. So make sure you're using specifics. And again, guys, this is a 5-minute investment every 2 weeks, 10-minute investment every 2 weeks to get better at your skills. And we've talked about this before. If you get 1 or 2% better per week, how much better are you if that compounded, how much better will you be by the end of the year? 1 or 2% better, and this is what helps get 1 or 2% better. How much better will you be by the end of the year? Who's been paying attention over the years? Come on, guys. Almost 300% better. So make sure you're doing these little things to get a little bit better every year. So you have to look at your competition and say you're going to do things, you're going to do it differently. That's what Steve Jobs did. I think we all respect Steve Jobs and what he was able to accomplish. You have to look different. Because guys, how many people think there's one advisor is better than another advisor? Do they really think one person in their town can get them into better investments than another advisor in town? Do they really think that? No, because if they did, how many advisors would there be in town? One. So they're not looking for the best advisor. They're looking for an advisor who will put their concerns first. And I use the analogy of the mechanic. If there's a mechanic on the left side of the road and a mechanic on the right-hand side of the road, are they really worried about which mechanic is better? No, they know both mechanics can fix their car. What are they worried about when it comes to mechanics? Which one is the honest one? Which one's going to put their concerns before their own? Which one's going to not try to sell them on repairs that do not need to be made? So they're not looking for the best mechanics. They're looking for mechanics they can trust. Same thing with advisors. They're not looking for the best advisor because they know that doesn't exist. They're looking for one they can trust. And how we do that is we do the non-financial things. We do the things that we do not get paid for. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Docubank. We have Mike Wall from Docubank on who's going to walk through how we use that, why it's a good thing. And guys, some of the best advisors I have, some of the top advisors I have leveraged just the Docubank into all sorts of business, especially with nonprofit organizations, to get in to speak to nonprofit organizations, to get in to speak to places of worship, because this is something that everybody needs, very few people have, and it shows that you're putting their concerns before your own. So this is something I think is underutilized by many advisors as a tool to leverage the fact that you care about people, not just want to sell people. So Mike, thanks for being on today, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here. And so, yeah, as Mike alluded to, today we're going to discuss how you can protect your clients with Docubank. And so some of the benefits that we have for you. And so some of the ways that it can help you both engage new clients as well as build stronger relationships with those folks that you're already working with. So here's a quick outline of what we're going to discuss. First is we're going to spend some time talking about what our service does and how our service helps you prepare your clients for a medical emergency. And then we're going to talk about the different marketing opportunities we have for you and the different features and benefits we have and the different ways that you can utilize our service to build relationships with your clients. And then we're going to close with the different 5Q discounts that they've arranged for you to make it really easy and affordable to provide our service for your clients and to get started. So first things first, let's talk about how our service helps your clients stay prepared for a medical emergency. And so what you're looking at there on the screen there is a sample of our Docubank emergency card. And so this is a medical card that your clients will carry with them in their wallet. And so this card has some important medical information right there on the front, such as the client's allergies and their medical conditions, emergency contact phone number, and then of course it's branded with your contact information as well. And so the client carries this card with them, and so that way when they're in the hospital, either the client or the hospital staff can use this card to get access to a whole bunch of other additional information and documents that are going to be helpful that your clients are going to need when they're in the hospital. So the most important of those are going to be your client's advance directives. And so those are their healthcare power of attorney. That's the document that says when your client's unconscious, whom they would like to make medical decisions for them. And then we're also going to store a copy of their living will. And so that's a document that says basically if I'm unconscious, this is the type of treatments I do want, or these are the types of treatments I don't want. So basically, if these two in combination with each other allow your clients to really specify what kinds of treatments they want and who should make decisions for them if they're hospitalized and they're not able to talk for themselves. And so we'll store those documents as well as a whole bunch of other medical information, such as a list of their doctors, a list of medications, additional emergency contacts, and a whole bunch of other things that we're going to get to later on in the presentation. So we keep a copy of that. Client gets a card they carry with them in their wallet, and then when the client's in the hospital, the card delivers those documents right to the hospital when your clients need them. So it's super simple to use. They just carry the card with them wherever they go, put it in their wallet by their driver's license, and then when they're in the hospital, either the client can call our 800 number, or they can give the card to the hospital staff and they can call our 800 number or go to the website and they'll put in the member number and PIN, which are on the front of the card, and then we'll send all those documents right to the hospital, either by fax or they can print it out right from the computer. So really important to know that everything that's needed is right there on the card. So let's say there's a situation where the client has a heart attack or is in a car accident. They show up at the hospital staff or your client's loved one can use the card and get the documents and know who should make decisions, what kinds of decisions they want, who are the emergency contacts they need to get in touch with, who are all the doctors. All that information is easily accessible and organized and available on demand. So there's really a whole bunch of reasons about why this is important. I'm not going to bore you guys with a lot of details about advanced directives, but I'll just sort of summarize it and say that there's been a lot of studies around them. And so all of the studies have universally shown that advanced directives are really helpful for your clients. They have done studies where they've shown that people that have living wills, if they have it, they're more likely to get the treatments they want, or they're more likely to avoid the treatments they don't want. So whatever end of the spectrum they fall on, if they put their wishes in writing, they're more likely to get the side that they want. They've done surveys of doctors that have said that they feel like they're less frustrated and they feel that they're able to provide better care when these documents are available. They've done surveys of healthcare agents, so people that have had to make decisions for their loved ones, and those people universally report that they are relieved to have these documents available to them, and they're relieved to know what their loved ones' wishes are in writing, because they're the ones that are going to have to make incredibly stressful decisions about life and death decisions about their loved ones. And when they have that input, when they know what their loved ones, how they feel and what they would want, that's a great relief to them. So we know these documents are extremely helpful for people. They help doctors, they help agents, and of course they help your clients get the care that they want. But the problem is that only can work if those documents are in the hospital when your clients need them. So if the client goes to the hospital and the documents are at home in a safe deposit box or in a binder somewhere or in their desk, and the client's in an emergency situation, then the documents aren't doing any good for them. And so in that situation, they're not going to know who should make decisions for them. It can lead to things like kids fighting over the kinds of treatments their parents might want, or who should be making those calls for their parents. And so it's really important to make sure they're available, and nobody ever carries them around with them, right? Like this is, we're talking about anywhere from 8 to 20 pages of documents, right? It's impossible to carry them with you. If you go on vacation, people don't bring them. If you go to visit your kids next town over, you're not bringing them. If you go to the grocery store, you're not bringing them. So, no matter what, if something happens and you go to the hospital, you're not going to have these documents with you. So family members, even if they know they exist, that means they've got to go to the house and try and track them down and then go to the hospital. So you're wasting time there, especially in a true emergency. And electronic health records have not really been very helpful for this. There was a study a couple of years ago in the New England Journal of Medicine that found that they were in the hospital's electronic health records just 22% of the time. So we know these are helpful documents. We know that unless you take some steps to help your clients, they're probably not going to be there when they need them. So it's a real disconnect that Docubank can really help solve for you and for the clients that you work with. So in addition to the advanced directives that I talked about, there's a whole bunch of other medical information that your clients can store with us. And so I'm not going to go through these one by one, but it's a whole bunch of information that your clients can choose to store in our database. And we send all of this information over to the hospital when the card is used. And so this can really help give the doctors the information they need to provide your clients with the best care possible. So, they may need to, you might have a client that has cancer, and so you might list their oncologist and their phone number. So if they show up at a different hospital, they can communicate with the oncologist and figure out, what the situation is and provide better care. If your clients have, as I'm sure most of them do, if they're taking a number of prescriptions, then it's important for that information to be sent to the hospital so that, one, they continue to take those prescriptions as they're now hospitalized, and two, that the doctors don't perform or don't prescribe some new medications that could potentially interact with the current medications the client's on. So it's really important to have this information available to help your clients get the care that they need in the hospital. So, all told, our real goal here is to make sure that your clients have the smoothest hospital experience possible. We want to make sure that when they're hospitalized, their important legal medical documents are available, important medical information is available, and that means that your clients' loved ones don't have to stress out. They don't need to try and track all this stuff down in an emergency. They can go right to the hospital and be with their family. They know who's supposed to make those decisions. They know what kinds of decisions your clients want, and the doctors have the information they need to provide your clients with the best care possible. So it's just a nice safety net, a nice way to keep all this information organized and make sure it's available to your clients and their family when they need it. So in addition to all the medical card and storing of the medical documents, the membership also includes an online safe for your clients. So this is cloud-based storage where you can store other non-medical documents for them. So you can upload, the clients can upload personal files, you can upload financial files and statements and real estate documents. So every person gets 2 gigabytes of storage with their membership. All the files are encrypted when they're stored on our server. The clients can log in with their username and password and see those files you've uploaded, upload their own files. They can create additional users on their account so they could share files with other people, such as their children or whomever. But important to note that the online safe is separate from the emergency card in the sense that if you put a file in the safe, we're not going to send that to the hospital when the card is used. So, the emergency medical documents are accessed using that card. You just need that card to get them. All the files in the online safe, the clients would need to log in with a username and password in order to access those files. All right, so we just reviewed what the emergency card does for your clients and how the online safe can be helpful for them. Now we're going to talk about how you can utilize this in your office and some of the different tools and resources we have for you. And the first thing is we can talk about how this is a great
Mike, can I get in there a second?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, Mike.
So we have a question, and you brought it up, that these things are encrypted. So if you, obviously everybody today is worried about their information being accessed. So do you have some sort of conversation explaining to people what encryption means or whatever to put clients' minds at ease about that?
Yeah, so I have like a handout that agents could give to any of their clients that are interested that kind of goes into our privacy policy and security measures. So that's something that we have available for them. All of the files are encrypted on our server. So when the documents are there, that would mean that it helps prevent them from against being hacked. So that even if somebody were to somehow hack the server, which of course has never happened, the documents that they get would not be like readable. You would need a very complex key in order to decrypt the documents and actually view them. So that's kind of what encryption means. It kind of means that the documents, until they're decrypted, which happens when you access them, the files when they're on the server or on the computer are useless basically.
Okay. And guys, remember this, should anybody be uncomfortable about quality of life directives or healthcare directives being accessed? I mean, how think about that. How are people going to get how many thieves are interested in getting that information?
Right. And so when you're talking strictly about the advanced directives, it is sort of important to note that that emergency card really is the key to getting those documents. So it is set up so that anyone that has that card would be able to access those files. But again, you're talking about, emergent, like medical documents of this, I want my son or daughter to make decisions for me. So it's not, it's nothing that should have your social security number on it. It doesn't need to even have your birthday on it. It's not something that would really be, of course, you don't want someone to access those that shouldn't, but it's not something that would really be potentially super harmful if they were to happen, which we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. So we were founded in 1993, and we've never had an incident that we know of where anybody has accessed the documents that should not have. So.
Super. Thanks for addressing that.
Absolutely. All right. So one way that Docubank, and I think Mike kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the introduction, one thing that really helps us set you apart is that it really helps you connect with your clients on a different level. A lot of what you offer to your clients is, here's how we can help you save for retirement. Here's how we can manage your money. It tends to be very nuts and bolts, very mathematical, just sort of logical, like a logical decision for them to make. But this is something where you can really help connect with your clients emotionally. And he was kind of getting to that in the beginning, where you really want, clients want to work with people that they trust and that they know, and who are really have their best interest at heart. And so this is really a nice way for you to show your clients that you have their best interests at heart, and that this is what you're doing that makes you different from that financial advisor down the street, that you're not just interested in their financial well-being, but you're interested in their emotional well-being and the well-being of their families as well, because this is something that you're going to provide for your clients to help make their lives easier during incredibly stressful moments. And so it's also a way of showing your clients how you are taking care of them kind of 24/7. Like they're not going to be able to call you if something happens necessarily in the middle of the night, but this is a service you're providing them that when something happens, even if you're sleeping, even if it's a holiday, you're still taking care of them and you're still making their lives a lot easier. And so we have a whole bunch of marketing content for you to help you promote that fact to your clients or to prospective clients that are shopping around and looking for an advisor in their area. So we have like website materials for you, so you could promote Docubank on your website, where you can talk about how this is a service you provide for your clients and what we do for them. You can put like a login portal on your website, like you can see there on the slide there, where your current clients would be clicking through your website to get to our website to make like updates to their account. So it's a nice way of keeping them engaged on your website and of tying us back to you and kind of keeping you involved in that whole process as well. And then we have a video that you can play for your clients. This is something, again, you could put on your website, and it would be a video that's embedded in your site. So if somebody's coming around looking for advisors in their area, they can just watch this really cool 2-minute video on your website that explains the service that you are going to provide for them. And it really helps, show them that you really care about your clients and that you are not just a financial advisor, but just sort of helping them and their family in a more holistic manner. And so that's something that you could put on your website. We have email templates, so you could email it to your clients. You could certainly just have it on your tablet or laptop in your office and play it for them. So we want to really help make this available to you, and it's a nice tool for you to help market to your clients. And then if you're doing seminars, we have slides for you so that you could promote Docubank as part of those seminars. So again, I know that the advanced directives are probably not a big portion of what you're discussing, but if it is something that you do bring up during those presentations, you can sort of take this and use this as one of those ways to show clients, we're not just going to help you fill out these documents if you don't have them, but we're then going to take that next step and make sure that if something happens to you, these important documents and this important information is available to you and to your loved ones. So it's really just a way of showing that you're going beyond what they might expect of a traditional financial advisor. And so we have scripts for you, we have slides for you, and scripts for your staff as well. So we really help make this easy for you to present to your clients and to help educate them about what it is that you're providing them. So that's how we can help you sort of engage with your new clients and help make a great impact on them. The other side of things is that we help you maintain those relationships with your current clients, and this is a great tool to keep your name out there in front of them. So one manner that we do that in is that we brand all of our letters that we send to clients and the emails that we send them. We always brand those with your firm's information as well. So we are all about just reinforcing that relationship that you have with your clients and reminding them that this is an extension of your service. This is something that you provided for them. And so when they get their card in the mail, it's going to mention that this was provided by your law firm. When they get an update letter in the mail, it's going to remind them that it's provided by your law firm. When it's time to renew their membership, they're going to get an invoice from us, and that'll say that this is provided by you and that your firm has provided them with this huge discount. So everything we do is trying to reinforce that this is a service that you've provided for them, so that when you sign up your clients, even if you've paid for the first year and your clients are paying for subsequent years, you're still going to get years of marking dividends after that initial investment that you've made in the service. And so the cards themselves, as I had mentioned, can also be branded with your firm's information. And so we have two different options. You can have the text branding, which you see on the left, where we have your firm's information down at the bottom of the card. Or if you have a logo, we can also brand the cards with your logo, which you can see on the right there. And so this, again, your clients are going to have these cards. They're going to carry them around in their wallet with them wherever they go. So this is basically, it's sort of doubling as a way to make sure that your clients are carrying your business card everywhere you go. So if they're talking to a relative or talking to a friend about your service and your firm, they can pull out the card and show them, this is something else that I also got from them. It's got your phone number right there. So maybe their friend or their relative could take a picture of the card or could write down your number. So it's a great way. It's a great easy way to make sure they always have your information on them and they can share that with other people if they want to. Then of course the website is branded with your information. You can upload your logo or contact information so that whenever your clients log into our website, they're going to see your information right at the top of the page. And again, it's just one more way that we're keeping your firm connected to your clients so that, let's say they need to log in and update their medication list because they're on a new medication. So they want to log into our site. They come in and then they see your information right at the top of the page to remind them that this is an important service that was provided by your firm. And so again, that branding persists for as long as the client is signed up. So you might sign them up today and then 5 years from now they log in and they're still seeing that branding. And then we also have a whole bunch of materials, again, to help you promote this as a service that you provide for your clients. And so we've got a bunch of different brochures that are available for you. We have a brochure that you'll probably use for most of your traditional clients, your husband, wives, and that sort of illustrates how our service is important for them. But if you're working, if you tend to work with a lot of younger families that have like college students, we have a college card. Or if you work with younger families that even have minors, we have like a minors card so that if they're leaving the kids with like grandparents or babysitters or nannies, it's a special card just for them to have access to the children's medical information and maybe other legal documents they may have. If you tend to work with the LGBT community, we have a separate brochure that talks specifically about how the service is particularly valuable for folks in the LGBT community and making sure that their legal documents are available. So we have a whole bunch of different materials that are written and geared specifically to the types of clients that you might be working with. All right, so that's how we can help you acquire new clients and how this is a great resource for you in terms of staying in touch with your current clients and keeping your branding out in front of them. And then finally, we're just going to talk about some of the discounts that 5Q has set up for you. as well as sort of the process of what it would look like if you were to get started with our service. So as I mentioned, this is our 30th year that we've been in business. So we have a long history of working with financial advisors and helping them protect their clients. We've been working with 5Q for at least 15 years. So we've worked with a ton of 5Q agents. So we're very familiar with that process as well. And so we have a turnkey system where we'll work with you or work with your team to help get you the resources that you need, help make sure that you're comfortable discussing our service with your clients, make sure you have the brochures, make sure you have the sample cards, show you how to use the video. We'll walk you through every step of the process so that you can help build this into your marketing and help build this into your process with your new clients to make this super easy for you to get them signed up in our service. And then it's also a part of the 5Q Group's 21 Lite process. So I know there's a big emphasis on them where you will talk to your clients and make sure that they have their healthcare power of attorney, or if they already have one, maybe it's out of date. I know that's part of the process is that you're already discussing making sure that their healthcare power of attorney is up to date and helping them revise that if they need to do so. So this is just part of that process where you want to sit down and talk with them and say, look, it's important to have these documents, yes, but what good do they do if you're in the hospital and these documents are at home in your desk drawer, or if they're at home in your binder? So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that you have them, they're up to date, and we're going to give you this card so that when you need them, they're right there for you. And so this is all part of that process that they've designed for you, so you can take care of your clients and make sure that everything goes according to plan if something were to happen for them. So finally, we get to the price point. I'm sure a lot of you have been sitting there thinking like, okay, this sounds great, but what's it cost? The good news is that it's incredibly affordable for you to provide this service for your clients. So there's absolutely no cost for you to get started. There is normally a $150 setup fee for financial advisors, but that is waived thanks to you working with the 5Q Group. So it's completely free for you to get started. So the first step would be to set up your firm's account, which would get you 2 free client memberships. We would schedule that onboarding call with you or your staff so we can help make sure that everyone's on board and that you're using all the proper resources. And then we'll also get you signed up with your free memberships. We offer free memberships for all the agents as well as all of your team. So we want to get you guys all on board and using the service. That way you're better equipped to discuss this with your clients. You have more familiarity with it. And so you'll have your free memberships, and then your first 2 clients are absolutely free as well. And then after those 2 clients, you get a 54% discount off the retail rate. So if you want to sign clients up for 1 year, it's just $25 a person, or a 5-year membership would be $75 a person. And then you do have the option of purchasing a package of memberships. Most 5Q agents like to do this. You save $150 basically if you purchase that package of 10 1-year memberships for $99. And that way you've got those 10 as well as the 2 free ones. So for $99, you're basically getting 12 memberships to give out to your clients and try the service out. All right, so Mike, do we have any other questions?
I think you did a good job because no other questions.
All right, so I always a little nervous about that. I either put him to sleep or I was very thorough, so I guess we'll find out.
No, it looks like everybody was paying attention the whole time. We can kind of see that. So,
all right,
yeah,
awesome.
So guys, do you see all these things that we, as Mike was talking there, do you see how these are intertwined in the 21-point checklist and the 21 Lite scripts? So let's kind of walk through, Mike's going to stay on just for just a few minutes. So if something prompts into your head, we'll go ahead and address it at that point. But I'm going to go through and let's watch how we actually use it in our meetings. So are we seeing my screen now, Missy?
Yep, we sure are. I can see it good.
So remember, guys, these are the non-financial things, and we talk about electronically filing right here when it comes to medical power of attorney. So these non-financial things is what gets them to realize, oh, my current advisor is just a salesman. They only talk about things they get paid on. This guy here, this gal here, she's actually talking about things that do not make them a single cent. And, when you're paying for their membership, do they think you're making any money by referring them to to Docubank? No. And is paying, with the first 10 or first 12, paying $10 to get a client on board in this, is that too much to bring a client on board? And that's where some of our top advisors, again, getting into it the door with nonprofit organizations and with places of worship, they say, I actually provide this service as a public service. I actually pay for it for the first year for people to get on board. And Mike, are you still on here?
Yes, I am.
So after that, is it $25 a year after that? How much does it cost a client to maintain this year in, year out then going forward?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different options your clients would have. If they want to renew for 1 year, it would be $30, or they could do 5 years for $104 are the current rates. And then there's some other discounts, like if they've renewed early, or if they set it up to renew like automatically every year, they could save some money that way as well. But those are the base rates.
Perfect. So guys, is it $30 too much to keep a client happy, especially your good clients? And even if you didn't want to pay for it yourself, again, my top advisors, all the guys in the top 10, I guarantee you, they pay for their clients' Docubanks, especially for their best clients. Is $30 too much to keep a great client? Also, is $10
Mike,
too much? Yeah, please.
Can I just interrupt real quick? If the agent is continuing to pay for it, then you get the same discounts that you start with. So.
25 then.
Exactly. Yeah. The rates I gave were just if the clients
for a client.
Themselves. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, $25 then. So is that too much to keep to keep happy clients? No. And do you see why when my guys go to a nonprofit and do a seminar, or at a library and do a seminar, or they go to a place of worship seminar talking about this, like in a 21 Light workshop, which we have, guys, on the site. We have 21 Light workshop on the site. But what they would do is they'd say, if everybody makes an appointment, we will give you this membership for this Docubank for free. And it's amazing. I don't know if you saw the one little endorsement that Mike had, one of the slides, that the guy said when he covers these things at seminars, that they really perk up. Well, it's the same thing with the 5Q guys. When they cover this, it's amazing how people perk up. They want that service. So it's part of our foot in the door to tenderize that other advisor, so they realize that guy is just a salesman. This guy I'm talking to, this 5Q advisor, wow, they are the real deal. They care about me as a person, not just as a meal ticket. Does that make sense? So so what we want to do is get them to realize that we are on their side and their current guy is not. So let's take a look at how we can do that. So we go in here, and we're going to start right at the medical power of attorney. And do you remember some of the things that Mike just said there about why it's important to have the Docubank, or access to the healthcare power of attorney and the advanced medical directives when you're in the hospital? Number one, you get the kind of procedures, you get the kind of care that you want. Number two, he said, and I don't know if you caught this, you can choose not to get care and procedures that you don't want. And hospitals are always going to err on what side? To give you more or give you less? What are hospitals going to do? Give you more or less? More. Why? Two reasons. More. Why? Covering their heinies for one, but what's the bigger reason, I think? What's the bigger reason? Yeah, money. So that's one of the things that we're going to leverage in this script. So let's listen to how we introduce it. So here we go.
Like your healthcare power of attorney, your financial power of attorney, which we just talked about, this is going to appoint somebody to handle your what?
Medical decisions.
Medical decisions. So again, good job getting that done. That's awesome. So you've appointed Rochelle, and Rochelle's appointed you. That's terrific. That's the way it should be done. And now, do you carry those around with you in your wallet, in your purse all the time?
No, I think we've got it like in a strong box at the house.
Exactly. I mean, I don't. I've never heard of anybody who does carry that stuff around. So the reason I bring that up is because when you go to a hospital, are they concerned about paperwork, or they say, oh, paperwork, we don't really need to worry about that?
No, Have you fill out tons of paperwork.
And they don't want to help you until what?
Till all the paperwork's done.
Yeah. So if you don't have that paperwork, let's say you're traveling, or let's say it's more of an urgent matter, and obviously we do or don't have that paperwork with us.
No, we don't have it on us. No.
Guess what the hospital say? No problemo. We have our own. So you don't have to go running around for it. We'll give you ours. Now, who do you think their paperwork is written by? Are your attorney or their attorneys?
Their attorneys.
And are their attorneys worried about you or the hospital?
No, they're worried about the hospital.
Mm-hmm. But we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, our loved one is in dire need, and are we going to go run around trying to find that? Or if we're traveling, can we even get our hands on that? Or are we just going to sign the hospitals?
I'm sure we'll end up signing the hospitals.
And again, that's going to be better for you or better for the hospital?
Well, it's going to be better for them.
Yeah. So there is a cure that we recommend for all of our clients, and here's what that cure is. It's a online encrypted vault that you can keep all of your emergency documents in there. You can keep your financial power of attorney because we'd be traveling and maybe need that.
Yeah.
Things can happen, right?
Yeah.
Your healthcare power of attorney, really any important document. Your survivor's guide you could put in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and it's right here where you actually they can either have it faxed to you, you can access it online, etc. So when the hospital says, put theirs in front of you, you can say, no, do you have internet here? And you can just do what?
Just give them that card.
Yeah, and then you can download it for it. Also, if you think about it, if you're ever, God forbid, we're in an accident, where's the first place that the emergency responders look? After they take care of you and stabilize you, what are they going to do? They're going to want to know who this person is.
Sure.
How do they determine that?
They look at your driver's license and stuff like that.
And I bring that up because this encrypted vault service has a little sticker here too. And see how it says look for this card?
Yep.
So now they're going to look for the card. You see also on this card that it has my, if we look a little closer here, I better put that in my pants or I'll leave it here. See how it says, here's the things that I'm allergic to?
Sure, yeah.
Here's the things that, the prescriptions I presently take?
Yeah.
And why is it important that they know what prescriptions you presently take?
Well, so that they know not to prescribe anything or give you anything that might not work with that. Or
can that be a problem?
That could be
and
a problem.
And the sooner they know that, the better, or just wing it?
The better.
So why would we actually purchase this service for all of our clients? Why do you think we do that?
Just to make sure that they have the information and you're doing all the things to help your clients.
That's exactly why we do that. Yeah. So now, the one thing about your healthcare power.
So at the end of well, first of all, who told them they needed this card? Who told them they needed this service? Did I tell them that, or did they tell me I needed that? Yeah, they tell me, and when they tell me, guess what? It's something they really want. Now, normally we want to do at the end of this, what kind of advisor would I be if I didn't cover this? But we're going to actually combine it with the medical directive, which is a little bit longer. I'm not going to go through that, but I want to go to the end of the medical directive, quality of life directive, so we can see how we then combine Docubank, combine the healthcare power of attorney, and the quality of life directive into what kind of an advisor would I be. So I'm going to go right here.
Okay.
So again, I'm kind of being a Debbie Downer today, aren't I?
Yeah, kind of.
So I do apologize, but am I a doctor?
No.
Do I get paid to help you with these things?
No, not that I know.
So sometimes I scratch my head, why even bring these up? But if you think about it, what's the one expense that could completely wipe out 30 years of savings in retirement?
Oh, if you end up in the hospital.
Yeah. So healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So if I, as a financial advisor, again, if I'm just an investment salesperson, I'm just going to talk about the investments. But if I'm a financial advisor, is the one expense that can completely wipe out your retirement savings financial? Is that a financial?
No, it's a medical thing.
A medical thing. But the medical thing ends up costing what?
A lot of money.
So is that a financial thing or not?
Well, yeah, then that is a financial thing.
Yeah. And we said the hospitals are concerned about giving you the best care or giving you the best care and making sure that they make money at the same time.
Well, they want to make money.
And a lot of times, even at the end, a lot of money is spent. So they're going to do all these procedures that'll extend your life for 2 or 3 days. Is that necessarily what you'd want to do?
No, that's not what I would want to do. But
most people, some people, and if you did, you could write it down, right?
Right.
But most people don't want that to be. They'd rather go home and die peacefully. But guess what? The hospital's power of attorney is going to say.
No, you have to stay.
Stay and run up the bills and die peacefully, or die with them trying to extend your life by second.
Right. Second by second.
So if I ignore this,
What am I doing there, guys? Why am I walking through this scenario? I'm turning this from an intellectual into a what? An intellectual discussion into a what? Emotional. Does anybody, I mean, have most people, not everybody, has most people seen loved ones in the hospital and those last 2 or 3 days are wonderful and calm, or are they just terribly stressful on everybody, those last 2 or 3 days? As the hospital does everything possible to squeeze 1 more minute out of that person's life. Yeah, stressful. So they've seen this before, so they're visualizing this as, yeah, no, I'd rather go peacefully than have my heart restarted 3 times, have my, and even if they have a do not resuscitate, do hospitals always follow do not resuscitate? Not unless what? They have the paperwork, your paperwork.
as a financial advisor, these medical things, what kind of an advisor would I be?
You wouldn't be a very good advisor.
No, I wouldn't. So does that make sense to have that in place? And again, sorry for covering these other things, but these things are kind of under the surface of your finances, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and are they important or not important in the long run?
No, they're important.
Yeah. So the next thing.
So we've turned the healthcare power of attorney, Docubank, and the medical directives into a what? Hey, this would be a good thing for you to do. That's not good enough. If all you do is say, this is a good thing for you to do, what do you get for that? Sure, you're doing the right thing for your client. That's a good thing. But if all you do is end that with, so do you see why these are good things to do? What does that get you? Nothing. What do they have to say at the end of the medical power of attorney, Docubank, and the healthcare power of attorney? What do they need to say at the end of it in order for it to be you to actually leverage it to make them a client? Yeah, what kind of advisor would I be? Why didn't my guy tell me about this? You'd be a bad advisor if you didn't do this. See, so we're having them connect the dots that this, you're not saying, did I mention their advisor once here? No. So can they defend their guy? No. But are we still having them attack their own guy by this? Yeah, they're saying that their own guy, if their own guy did not do this, and how many of their guys have done this? How many advisors do this? A high percentage or a low percentage? And so then they're saying what? If my guy didn't do this, they're a what? An advisor or a what? A salesperson. And do I call him John? Do I call him a salesperson? Do I call him Steve a salesperson? Or who in their mind is saying that guy's a salesperson? Again, I don't bring that guy up, but in their mind, remember, we're using the connect the dots mentality of if they say it for the power of attorney, and they say it for the medical stuff, and they say it for the property casualty, and they say it for the identity theft, and they say, if they say over and over again, anybody who does not cover these things is a salesperson. Eventually, they're going to connect the dots and think in their head, what? Wait a minute. My guy didn't cover this, so all he is a what? And with a couple, it may not be the husband that thinks this, but who's thinking it? Who's thinking it? Which client? The client who takes care of the investments, or the client that takes care of the family? Because we've discussed this before. In couples, generally, and again, 99% of the time, one of the couple manages the finances and investments. The other one takes care of the family. And who's concerned about the stuff we're talking? And generally, it's the husband takes care of the investments, the wife takes care of the family. Make sure that birthday cards are sent out, make sure that everybody's invited for Thanksgiving, make sure everybody's happy in the family. So she's thinking, this is exactly the stuff my advisor should be doing. I understand what they're saying. These are things that are important to me. These are things that the other advisor should have been talking about. So who do we have on our side right now? Her. Make sense? Coolio. So thanks again to Mike Wall for being on, reiterating this, guys. You get the service for free. You should all have this service. Your clients should all have this service. he pointed out you get branding upon branding upon branding, and what does that cost you per year? At most $25 if you're paying for it. That's after the first year. And do you see why nonprofit? You could use this with a nonprofit, a library, a place of worship to get in to offer this kind of service. The way a lot of guys have done it with a worship service is combining Docubank with a legacy letter. Does everybody understand what a legacy letter? Does anybody not know what a legacy letter is? So a legacy letter is that will, and it's called a lot of different things. But a legacy letter is where a client will pass on all of their beliefs, their morals, the things they find important in life. So it's a non-financial document where they can let the people who know once they die the things that they felt that were important, the lessons they learned in life, the things that they think they would love to pass on to their children when it comes to morals, characteristics, beliefs. And how many of your clients would love for their loved ones to know those things? Basically all of them, especially the older they get, the more they want that, because nobody listens to them. So it's one way for them to be able to speak to their loved ones one more time. So do you see how Docubank and the legacy letter together, would that alarm any pastor, rabbi, or clergy that you'd want to present a seminar on that to their senior entities, their senior people? No. Now, if you come in there and you want to talk about investments, are they going to have you in? No way. Because how many synagogues, places of worship, a church, whatever, how many of them have financial advisors in their parishioners? Virtually all of them. And those financial advisors are going to have a fit if there's somebody in talking about finances. So there's no way they're going to want you in. But do you see how offering to talk about legacy letters and Docubank would be your ticket into something like that, to a place like that, or a nonprofit, or a library? Libraries that even say, you can't come in because we don't want for-profit people there. Do you see how even a library that said that would have you in for this kind of stuff? Because do you make money on Docubank? Not if you're paying for it. Do you make, or even if you don't pay for it, do you make money on Docubank? No. Do you make money on legacy letters? No. So do you see how you can use these kind of tools to get into places you otherwise would not be able to get into? Make sense? Super. So thanks again to Mike Wall for being on. We have 9:50, so we're going to start we're going to talk about this topic in greater depth here on our follow-up script workshop, and we'll start that at 5 to the hour. So thanks everybody for being on. Was this helpful to everybody to have a rehash of this and revisit why it would be good to be leveraging this in your practice? Good. Everybody saying yes. Good. Awesome. Then I will talk to you here in about 5 minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.